Get him on shore. Look at you. Fish on. Get dinner bait, baby.
Welcome back to another great day in the indoors with Sportsman's Tradition. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a campfire stories. We're going to be diving into the second double down. Let me go into that a little bit deeper. Last year, I decided to go for a javelina and a deer in 20B, both of those in the same one. Went out in the morning, got it done. In the afternoon, got the deer done. Well, now this year we want to try a little bit more of a challenge. I wanted to put in for Unit 22 deer and also Unit 4A for elk. Let's dive into the story.
All right, so Bryce is always coming at me with something different. So he's not necessarily a trophy hunter. He just loves to hunt. We spend my vacation time and such doing quantity, not quality all the time, but we take what God gives us, and sometimes we get some nice animals. But in this case, the goal was to get 2 animals in 2 units. And one of these is up near Winslow in the Unit 4A, and one of them down south of Payson in 22. It was tough. It was really hot. It was dry. There was hundreds of people out there because of fall break in school and everybody camping, and there was razors running up and down the roads, and all we could find on day one was the elk and deer, and a lot of nice elk and deer moving before light. So we called up our friend John Grease down in Payson, and he came up to help us with the little area that we hunt a lot. We got him up on the glass, and he had us on some elk.
So then we got the radio call. He said that there's elk, and we got there. We watched them move all around. They had a bull elk just moving, and the cows were pushing, just going crazy. Really didn't know where they were going to be headed. Well, then they started going onto this mountain. We made a move, got in front of them, we're ready. Out of nowhere, they went straight up, and they started climbing the mountain. We get a radio call saying, "Hey guys, can you make it up top?"
So when we got the radio call, we were about a half a mile from the truck. So we had to scoot. We had to drive about 5 miles and get dropped off at the bottom of an 800-foot cliff. And it takes normally about an hour to climb it, and Bryce says, we're going to do this in about 40 minutes. So we start going up that hill as fast as we can, and the old man has a little knee issue, and I started to get where I was slowing him down. He's a young football player, and he's wanting to keep going, so I told him, just go, I'll get there. He didn't want to leave, but I said, just go. And he ended up beating me to the top of the hill by about 6, 7, 8 minutes. And when I got there, everybody was waiting for us, and they were telling us that they don't have them in the glass anymore, but they think they're bedded right under a 50-foot ledge in a bunch of thick trees. So we began to look, and when we walked over there to the glass again, and he looked in the glass without moving a thing, and he found an elk.
So then we decided to set up. We got out the stick, set it up to where I could stand up and shoot. I just wasn't comfortable with that. I wasn't ready, wasn't steady enough for about a 340-yard shot. Wasn't comfortable. Because all the wind and everything, the stick was just going side to side. I didn't trust myself with that. But then we were looking around trying to find somewhere where we could sit, and right off the edge, about 2 feet off the edge of a 50-foot cliff, a perfect little sit down. I mean, it looked like it was designed for shooting, right? I sit down, set up the gun, look through it, and I have the shoulder right inside my scope, and I was like, wow, everything's just turning out right now. So then I made the shot. We heard it hit, we were pretty confident, it stood up, sat down. I wanted to make sure, loaded another one, shot, stands up, and we went into the brush. We didn't think it went far. We knew that we had made a hit. So then we decided to make a call to start moving down.
So we worked our way away from the animal about another 300-400 yards till we found a place on the ridge that we could actually climb down, really steep. Lots of stuff coming out from under our feet. In fact, I fell down twice on the way down the hill. And we get down on the ledge. We work our way over with our spotter telling us, we're getting close, go to the right, go to the left, and we find the tree. Just as we find the tree, we're looking for blood. 2 big cows jump up right in front of us, 10 yards from us. Right at that time, I don't know what it was, but it caught our vision between those 2 elk and us at about 6 yards from us off in the left was that calf sitting in the bush. So we had it. Now we had to clean it up, pack it up, and get it down the hill. That was pretty interesting. We walked about 1.5 miles with 150 to 200 pounds on each of our back, and got to the truck, and first stage was done. We were on our way to Payson.
On the way back down the hill, we were all real tired. I mean, it was a long walk. So then we decided, let's just get some Culvers and get to bed. I mean, heck, we were in bed by 7 o'clock. When we woke up in the morning, John decided to take us to one of his honey holes. We headed south of Payson near Rye and went real deep into the mountains to start looking.
So we're real high on some ridges, and there's lots of fingers in these mountains, and we know there's Coues deer, whitetail, and mule deer in this area. And we're seeing some muleys, and we're finding some deer here and there, but nothing, no shooters yet. The tag was for antler deer, and Bryce picked up Coues, I believe, it was about 1,000 yards from us, and that 1,000 yards would have turned into a couple miles to get there because of where it was located, and it slipped into the bushes, and we weren't comfortable that we were going to be able to make that long walk and it still be there. We didn't know if it came out the back door or what. So we decided to keep glassing. We moved around to another finger, and everybody's looking in the close sections, and I started glassing out towards the ranch because there's always deer that come in and out of these ranches. And as I'm looking at a bunch of scrub brush, the tops, I see what looks like 2 ears sticking above it, and I'm just kind of giggling because when you're glassing and you're out there that long, everything looks like a deer. And then it turns. After it turned, I look in the bush behind it, and there's a little pocket, and I see movement, and I see what looks like the back of a deer. And then between the bushes, I'm seeing movement here and there, and I'm still not convinced. And then all of a sudden, through the tiny hole the first one went through, I saw it walk through frontwards, and I could see it was plain and clear. It was a deer. So we decided to make a move. They knew where to get us on the road. Nobody saw these but me, but I did give them some points to kind of go off of, and we headed in that direction to get set up.
Well, we got down there, and it took some discussing, all of us wondering where we were going to go. And then RL finally said, I think it's right here. This has to be the spot. Okay, we trusted him. We got out, set up the stick. I got on the gun, got everything ready, do the setup where I looked, saw if I can see everything. He breaks out the call. And not joking, within 20 seconds of him hitting the call, here come down the deer. A doe pops out. I turn, I get set up, and I'm like, okay, it's right here, it's right here. And then I see another one step out, and I saw the little spikes. I shot. I mean, it couldn't have been in a better spot. It was the perfect opening in giant amounts of brush, right? And right when I shot, the biggest group hug ever happened. We saw it drop, all of us turned, and it was just one big group hug.
We dragged it about 20 yards to a tree. John's also a great butcher. We hung it up. He did the number, and we got it packed up, cleaned up, and then the ride ready to go. There was one other little thing we had hoped to try, because we're crazy like that, is if we got these done, we were thinking about trying to hunt bear too. There's a quota in that area. We didn't know if it had been filled yet or not. And it turns out one of my buddies, Roman, had a bear peg down there near Payson, but we couldn't talk. We were way out in the middle of nowhere, no signal, and we were pretty happy. I would say sometimes it's not about the size. Sometimes it's not about anything, but the hunt itself was amazing. The camaraderie at camp with our friends, the Enriquez family, and then at the end of the day, Bryce fulfilled his goal. 2 years in a row with a double down. This is one that I honestly didn't say anything about, but I didn't think we were going to have that much luck, especially at the dry conditions and how many people were out in the forest and the desert during this time of year, especially with COVID going on, fall break going on, hunting going on. But hey, persistence pays off.
You really got to get those kids in the outdoors. This was a memory that I will never, ever forget. And now I'm ready for next year, and I hope you guys are too. I'll come up with something next year that's harder than this. I'm just going to keep going up and up until I get to where I can't do it no more. And then I'm going to do it again. Have a great day, and hope we see you again.